The Freedom Caucus, dead set on tackling tax reform. The Freedom Caucus wants to work, or is prepared to work through the August recess to get it done. Now, the chair of the Tax Writing Committee sounds optimistic. Roll tape.
I think everyone is focused on what month we might see a draft or a bill or when this process begins, but I really think the right focus is on what year, and it's got to be this year, 2017. I think all the elements are in place to do it. I think the job creators in the country are hungry for this tax reform. I think Americans are too.
I'm sorry, Chairman. When you say this year, though, that it would happen this year, it would also be implemented this year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's an interesting time frame there. I want to go back to what the Freedom Caucus has been saying. Work through the August recess to get it done. Joining us now is Congressman Jim Jordan, Freedom Caucus guy. You're smiling. Are you prepared to get it done by working through the August recess? You will do that.
We got lots of things to get done for the American people. We got to do what we told them we were going to do. So you got the first, we got to repeal Obamacare, repeal and replace Obamacare. Second, we got to do a budget. Then we got to do appropriations. Then we got to do a debt ceiling. And of course, we got to do tax reform, as you were just talking about. So if that requires us to be here in August to get what we told the American people we were going to get accomplished, then we're going to have to do that. So that's the position we've taken. We think that makes just good common sense. Okay, are you prepared to compromise? I mean, when we were debating Obamacare reform and repeal, there was some pushing and shoving and an unwillingness to compromise. Well, in the end, are you now going to compromise on tax reform? Will you do that? Well, in the end, Stuart, it was the Freedom Caucus who put the bill over the top. And because of our intense and vigorous debate, we know we made that health care legislation better and closer, frankly, to what we told the American people we were going to do and what they elected us to do. So we will take that same approach with tax reform. We want a good bill that lets American families keep more of their money and creates a tax code that's conducive to producing economic growth. Plain and simple. What we don't want in this bill is the border adjustment tax, this whole new tax placed on the American economy. So, yeah, we're going to work hard to get the right kind of tax reform done like we did with health care.
All we're hearing on this program is get it done. We elected Republicans to the House, the Senate, to the White House to get it done. And there is a real strong feeling that you've got to do this. Has that message reached members of the Freedom Caucus, House of Representatives, all Republicans in Congress? You get the message?
Yeah, of course. We know the Freedom Caucus did. That's why we took the position.
I'm sorry, I'm not being facetious, and I shouldn't be saying it
like
this.
I understand.
But you know what I mean? There's an intensity here. The country is saying, come on, you got to do this.
And that's exactly why we took the position last night at our meeting that if, in fact, we need to be here during the traditional August break, we should be here to get the work done. But let's also focus on doing it right. What the American people don't want is a whole new tax placed on them, a brand new tax called a border adjustment tax. They do not want that. What they want is lower taxes and a tax code that's conducive to creating jobs and growing our economy. That's what we're focused on accomplishing. That's what we told the American people we were going to do. That's what we should do, even if it means being here in August.
Is that where the compromise is coming down to? Forget a border adjustment tax, forget a new tax. All we're going to do is cut tax rates for corporations and individuals and the death tax. That's it, a narrowly focused deal.
Well, it may not be that narrowly focused, but I do think it requires getting rid of this BAT. You know, people argue that you need the BAT for revenue neutrality. Revenue neutrality is a fancy way of saying the tax burden is going to stay the same. We're just going to shift around who pays what. And my understanding of that scenario, my experience with that scenario is what it normally means is the connected class here in this town gets a good deal and middle-class families get a bad deal. So I'm not wed to that by any stretch. What we need to do is, again, lower the burden for families and create a code that's conducive to growth. That's what we got to focus on. That does mean, of course, lowering the corporate rate.
Now, there's added impetus to getting Obamacare repealed and replaced because, as you know, Anthem is pulling out of all the counties in Ohio, I think all 88 of them, and that will leave, I think, about 20 counties with no insurance coverage.
18 counties, right.
I mean, this thing is collapsing. If it collapses without you guys in the Republican Party replacing it, you will own a collapsed system.
Well, you're right. Obamacare is so bad. You're seeing the things that we saw yesterday in Ohio with Anthem pulling out. Now 18 counties don't have but one company offering insurance. So we do need to get it done. But frankly, right now it's in the Senate. That's the Senate's call. Let's hope they get it done as soon as possible. We're hearing mixed messages there, but I think in the end we will get it done because, again, we had a major election in 10. 14 and 16, where this was Obamacare replacement, repeal and replacement was a critical issue. So I think we'll get it done, but that right now is in the United States Senate.
Congressman Jim Jordan, Freedom Caucus guy, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
You
Jim.
bet,
We do
Stuart.
appreciate
Good to be with you.
Thank you, sir.